Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you're on the globe. Hey, it's Insane Rider. Welcome to the channel, Budget Gamer. Well, here we are again. This is my third live stream today. I actually thought this particular stream would happen tomorrow, but the game snuck its way out a little bit early, and I've been advertising for months now that I would be covering a solo player horror fishing game called Dredge. And here it is. This game is already out. You can pick it up on, like, I believe Steam or maybe the Epic Store. It's on Switch. But it's finally released to mobile. And of course, the mobile environment is where I like to play most of my games. And so I'm going to show you a little initial gameplay. It's kind of a cozy, survival-ish, cozy-ish, survival-ish type of game. You can put it down pretty easy. Hey, Slime Boy, thanks for checking in. So it's a pretty cool game for sure. There's no question about it. I really enjoyed it. I was a beta tester for it. And the developers are spot on. They're very informative. They're very responsive. It looks like it's a smaller organization, and they did an amazing job with this game. There's 2 or 3 DLCs. I think one's called The Pale Reach, The Iron Rig, Blackstone Key, and then the Complete Edition if you have them all. But this game is a lot of fun. I wish it was multiplayer, and I know the developers have heard that before. It's one multiplayer integration away from just being a wonderful, cozy, survival-type game. But with that said, I want to dive in. I want to give everyone an opportunity to take a look at it. And I'll cover some of the initial things that I learned on my first playthroughs. And, you know, take a look at it. It is a purchase game. It's not necessarily free to play because it's kind of like a story-driven game, like anything else that comes with a price tag. But I can't recommend it enough. I really do enjoy this. My girlfriend started playing it. She's been playing it on the Switch, sitting on the couch playing. I'm playing from my iPad at the same time. And, you know, as far as stream content, you know, not necessarily something we could get in and get some matches and battles in, or even team up like a Pokemon Unite, or even like with Godzilla X Kong, like I've been streaming. But you could pick it up. You could be playing it at the same time, having me in the background. But with all of that said, let me get myself situated, and let's get started. I'm excited. All right, got my monitors all ready to go. Got my iPad in my hand. Looks like I got Peter as well. Thank you both for connecting in. Be curious, you know, I've been showing a lot of new games. Who knows? I might be showing Sonic Rumble at the end of the month on the 28th, Friday. But I've been following their Discord server, and it looks like it probably is not going to happen, but you never know. But here I am. I've been enjoying streaming the last few days of Godzilla and Kong. Tonight is all about Dredge. Somehow tomorrow I'm going to fit in a Dredge stream, a Godzilla Kong stream, and then of course tomorrow night we're expecting in Pokemon TCG Pocket to have a new expansion set of cards, and I plan to do a collab with a VTuber, Dead Mewtwo, and we're going to have a little pack opening contest. So it's going to be a busy tomorrow. 3 streams, 3 different games, but with no further ado, and with enough said on everything else, let me dive into Dredge. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and load a new game. And with that, let's get rolling. I'll try to not skip too many things here. And I've got my overlay set up. I had to kind of do some little hacks on the top to kind of fit in a few things, but the developers are nice to provide some overlays. Unfortunately, with the 11-inch iPad M4 Pro, it's got a little bit of odd dimensions on the screen. And so some of the games aren't quite fully in tune with that yet, which we've seen on a game I've been streaming earlier today. But this is a fun game. So we're just going to kind of walk through it. We'll get maybe play for an hour or two. And then we'll pick up where we leave off tonight, tomorrow. All right. The morning light fills your eyes and you try to sit upright. You're lying on the cold, wet dock where you collapsed the night before. Basically surviving this boat crash. All right. I'm going to read a little bit just to give a little bit of background, and then we'll kind of dive in. I'll share you my knowledge and experience that I have to date so far with the game. A short man is shouting orders at a handful of workers disembarking from a boat nearby. The man notices you. His name is the mayor. Welcome to Great Amaro. I must say, quite the dramatic first impression. I see you've already introduced yourself to the jagged rocks along the bay. So this game has some great content to it. It's very story-driven. And, you know, if you've been watching my other stream, I have a tendency to tap through the story. And, of course, you could do that here, too. But I actually really recommend, as part of the immersion of this game, is to take the time to enjoy the story as well. It's very well written. Did you not see the lighthouse? It was shining right at you. Ah, well, I'm glad to see our new fisherman upright and breathing. This game is a fishing game. You're going to be on a boat, and you're going to be out in the ocean and rivers and doing all kinds of fishing. And it's got a very kind of scary, dark, eerie, horror kind of filled vibe to it. And as far as playing the game, you'll be leveling up your boat, kind of leveling up your own character as well. And so there's kind of the progression system. At the same time, there's like an encyclopedia, so to speak, of all the different species of fish to catch. You can also do some cosmetics with your boat. And there's a lot of story along the way. And there's no combat per se. It's not like you're launching a cannon off the bow or anything like that, but the combat that is involved is more of evasive action combat, trying to keep your boat, just like in real life, rough seas, you're in some jagged rocks area type of thing. You know, it's all in your hands to steer that boat properly, and that's kind of the combat aspect to this game. Looks like your boat was hopelessly damaged, and they're moving your things to one of the old vessels. We'll catch up later. So I'm going to paraphrase here a little bit. I'll let you get out there to catch some fish. See if you can fill your cargo while you get your bearings in the light. All right. So I got a pursuit added here. The mayor says, finally, I don't suppose I need to say this, but get back before sundown, before the fog rolls in. Keep a close eye on time. It can really creep up on you. And if you've played a game, like I'm a big Minecraft fanatic, love playing Minecraft. It rolls around to darkness and all kinds of chaos is happening. Well, similar vibe here with the Dredge game. And, of course, you can see up at the very top, above where it says Great Amaro, Maro or Marrow, however you want to pronounce it. You'll see it says day 1 at 6 a.m. You see a compass. Over on the left, I've got a little bit of cutout from this overlay. I've got some different options there we'll go through. On the right-hand side, you see a little like tug-looking boat, and you see a flashing green and another green. So anytime you see those green, basically black explanation marks with the green around them, there's something going on. So let's address the flashing one first. So I'm going to tap there, and it says slide on the left side to move. So basically, it's a little entry-level tutorial. So I'm in my ship. This is what I've been So I'm going to take, you're not able to see my fingers here, but imagine I'm holding the iPad or a mobile device. I'm going to put my thumb down on the kind of the left bottom corner, and I'm just sliding around. And you can see the option, the little control option move around. Now slide on the right side to control camera. So I'm just moving left to right on the right side, just over there, almost to the left of that light bulb. Move to a fishing spot. Look for some splashes on the surface. All right, you can see a few fishes as well. Once you get here, you'll see a hook. I'll tap this hook. And, of course, it opens up my cargo on my boat. You can see I've got an engine down here at the bottom, a peculiar engine, and I've got a custom rod. And this is where you set up your rigs, your different fishing devices. You can have nets, you can have pots, of course, with different types of engines, all kinds of gear. And your gear that you operate your boat will go into this kind of whole area, as well as everything that you catch. Now, to catch a fish, you see the start fishing here on the left and a silhouette of the fish. So how it works is it's a little kind of a puzzle, not really a puzzle game, but a little bit of hand-eye coordination in a puzzle format to give it a little bit of entertainment value to it. So how it's going to work, I'm just going to take a quick peek here. All right, how it's going to work is I'm going to hit start fishing, and see you've got this, and different types of fish have different little puzzle system or action system to catch something. All right, so I caught a fish, and then you can just tap on it, and you see it put it into the inventory. I can move it around where I'm just using my finger. I'm just going to place it right there, and I'll hit place. I'll hit start fishing again, and all I have to do is hit pull, and I'm hitting pull again, and usually it's 1 to 3 times depending on the difficulty of the fish. You want to hit it in that green spot, and I'll hit play. So I'm just doing a little fishing here. Sometimes, occasionally, you'll see like a yellow spot or dot. It'll be much smaller. You want to time it so that yellow dot is in one of those catch zones when there's nothing else, no other green. And when you see those yellows, that's usually a little more rare version of that fish. It could be extra, a different size that makes it a little more value, or maybe a subspecies, or something's off about it or different. That's a key that when you see the yellow one, really focus in on those. All right, so here we go. I'm going to keep, so you can see me tapping, and I'll hit place again. So just get my fishing on here. Just and this will go for a little bit. You can see the stock on this, and now it says depleted. It went from stock low to depleted. I'll place that fish, and with that, I'll hit my back button. All right, we'll go fishing a little bit more. So kind of driving forward with on the left-hand side. You can see it's about 10:47 a.m. day 1. Now, when I'm holding still, the time doesn't move. But the simulation for the day-night cycles is based off of your boat moving around. So when you're stationary, the time's not really moving at a level that's important. But when you're moving, it's going to move at a quick clip. All right, so I'm going to go up to this little fishing spot here. Again, I'm going to tap there. Here's a different type of silhouette of a different fish. I'll hit start fishing. Okay, these are a little bit smaller. I want to make sure I land on them. And I caught a cod, and you can see it says Species Data Added to Encyclopedia. We'll cover that in a little bit. Now, notice the fish, it just happened to drop it right there, but there's some red. So you're literally going to have to do a little, almost like Tetris. And I can rotate this a couple of times. And what I'll do is to maximize my cargo space, I'll place it there like that. With that, I'm going to continue fishing. Stock is low. Let's put it right there so I can save as much room as possible. Again, I'm just tapping. And different fish have different ways to have to actually do it. So with that, actually, I think I'll rotate it one more time and drop it here. All right, and that one's depleted as well. Time only advances when you're moving or fishing or taking other specific actions. Yeah, so you move around, the time moves. You're fishing, the time moves. All right. So again, this is kind of like a cozy, somewhat maybe survival type game. It's not like I'm going to starve or anything, but, you know, you do got to get resources and, you know, that kind of parts of a survival game. Let's continue on. I'm going to just finish fishing here, and then we'll get back into the... now, this means basically I don't have the right equipment to fish this spot. That's what that kind of that rectangular looking thing is. There's all different types of rods and reels and nets and pots and everything that you have to collect and equip your boat with. And of course, you can't be rolling and fishing with everything, so you have to make some decisions along the way. So I'm not able to catch those particular critters. But let's move on to the next one. Here's another hook, which means I can fish it. And this looks similar to the fish I was catching before, so blue mackerel. And you can see it's definitely much more of a cozy pace game. You know, it's nothing intense where, you know, I'm jumping and running and fighting and everything else. But this is one of those games that kind of grows on you, and you find yourself picking it up to continue the storyline, which is a pretty in-depth, involved storyline, as well as, you know, leveling up your character, so to speak, and leveling up your boat, gearing up your boat. And I see Peter throwing out a bunch of emojis. Thank you very much, Peter, for that. And same with the likes and the reactions. All right. There is something over here on the water. You'll see certain messages in a bottle, so to speak, literally. Okay, so you see it says select your lights by holding the right arrow, left arrow, and then toggling the light. And that's where you have a bunch of different things to do. Light can help you see, but it also makes you more visible too. And that's a key aspect. There will be times if you're fishing in the middle of the night, really pushing and pressing to, you know, maybe you need so much money you got to make, or you're trying to complete a quest or a mission. You'll be out there in the night, and you're going to need your lights on to see what's going on. But there are times where there's things that go bump in the night. And I don't want to reveal too much, but you have your light on, you attract that attention. I'm going to go ahead and grab this message in the bottle, and you see it says 20th August 1927, added to cabin. This is the kind of dates when the game is, you know, it's a time setting. And you can see it's starting to get dark a little bit. There's the lighthouse. I'll go ahead and hit this. Right now I have option to turn lights on. I can do my foghorn, which could be beneficial, maybe to scare something away. I have what's called a spyglass, and that lets me look at fishing spots from a distance. We'll cover all those. But for now, let's go ahead and turn my light on. And it's not too bright, but turn it back on there. I accidentally hit it. And I'm going to start hitting back in. It's almost 7 p.m. Take a look at what's going up above. I've got I'll say kind of a aquamarine, a little bit more turquoise, a little bit more green eye. And you can see some colors kind of vibing around it. That's kind of like your meter to your mental state. And the more that works its way towards red, the more fearful you become, the more maybe you're a little bit more psychotic. Maybe you're kind of uneasy. That's kind of like the horror factor of things. So you have to always keep in mind what is going on right here. And it'll explain it here in a little bit. I don't want to take too much away for now, but in case you notice that, that's what that is. There is some red beam there in the back. That's something I'll definitely have to go explore. Let's go ahead, and while we're on the water, we're in this bay. I'll assume it's safe in here. Who knows? Again, I'm not going to give away any spoilers. But let's take a look at things. So the first thing I tap is kind of like your settings. I got a general, I got game mode. You know, you can play it on normal or passive. Talks about monsters. Again, I don't want to give away too much. Clock. Here's some details on the display. You can make adjustments. Accessibility, camera sensitivity and angles. A little bit on the audio and some controls. And you can see it's also set up if you decide to connect a controller to your mobile device. All right. So let's bail out of there. The next one is basically this book is your encyclopedia. As you can see, I'm on page 2. Let me go back. Page 1. I've got a blue mackerel. This is practically worthless. And it shows where, it shows kind of the time frame of when these particular species need to be caught. And if there are any aberrations or very unusually evolved variations of it. And I caught a cod. And as you can see, I've already caught 11 mackerels. It keeps track of your total catches. I caught, again, it shows me where it's at. A little bit of time details. I don't know how much they're worth yet. And as you can see, as I go through, there are a lot of things I haven't unlocked yet. On the left, you see tabs. There's the coastal fishing, shallow fishing, oceanic, abyssal, hadal, mangrove, volcanic, and then crab. And then along the right-hand side are the different areas, and then including exotic and aberrations. The Narrows, Gale Cliff, Stellar Basin, Twisted Strand, Devil's Spine, and Open Ocean. All right, so that's was the book. Of course, the message in the bottle. There's if you pick up any messages where you can get additional content and story. And a lot of times it's this background information. Morning of the second day of the honeymoon and our first day proper. Today we're sailing around the islands and inlets at the back of Greater Morrow. And then you can see the whole thing here. So you can read through these. These are usually pretty helpful. As you get further into the game, you might be looking for a certain resource or a certain shipwreck. You'll be surprised how much information is kind of secretly woven into these messages in a bottle. So they're definitely important to pay attention to. You want to be observant and read and try to extract as much information you can and figure out what the hints are and use those to your advantage. I see Peter says, I had a Norwegian Saba mackerel wild caught recently. All right, nice. Peter, I don't know how. I know Magic loves to fish. I'll be curious to see for those those fisherman types. See what they think of this game. All right. And then, of course, here's some notes if I had notes. You can see it's still at 8:25. I have a 4 pursuits. This is your missions. These are your quests. These are your things to kind of keep yourself busy. They also kind of keep you moving through the storyline and moving to the different areas so that you can, progress the story ultimately to the finish. Catch fish for the day. And it basically says a fresh start. Met the mayor at Greater Morrow. Sent me out to catch some fish. And all your different missions and everything will be listed here under your pursuits. And then we have the map. And there's the map of where we're at. So you can see the Morrows right in the center there. You can see some islands around. Top left is the Twisted Strand. Top right is the Devil's Spine. Bottom right, Gale Cliffs. And the bottom left, Stellar Basin. And you can put down markers and stuff like that if you find things you want to return back to and check out later. As well as you'll see some black dots on the map right now. I can pinch and zoom in. Again, I won't give away what those are, but they're obviously there for a reason for you to go explore and take a look. And with that, let me go ahead and move into the dock. So I'm just going to... Now, one thing when you operate the boat, if you run into something, a rock sticking out or the land, you got to be really careful. You can actually put and give damage to your hull. The one exception is when you hit these tires, you can run into the dock, but what you're going to see is as I get close, I got an anchor icon pop up, and that's I'm going to hold down, and that's going to let me go ahead and anchor my boat to the dock. And Peter says this looks like Animal Crossing, but this is one absolutely focused on deep sea boating, deep sea fishing. Yeah. Mixed in with a horror novel story to it. You know, Animal Crossing, I always wished in Animal Crossing there was some type of combat. And this kind of has the combat in a certain way. But yeah, I'm really been looking for, and I've found some, just not on a new version, but something new coming out. But boy, a survival, cozy, PvP type of game would be perfect for me right now. All right, so the mayor of Greater Melrose greeting me, basically saying, "Hey, I'm glad you returned in one piece. My old boat was too damaged, but this one they'll basically give to me. Of course, they're going to want me to pay it off, so they're going to take a cut of anything I exchange in as far as fish." And a couple of things here. Here's where you have different storyline options where you can tap the different pieces to further the conversation. I could say selling fish helps the town pay off. Got it. Of course, he'll give me a little bit more verbiage. And then on top of that, I didn't see that other option. I have to go back and talk to him again to get that. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the fishmonger. And we saw that little green highlight there. That's a squalid shack on the fringe of the marketplace. It smells of fish in the air. Gonna hit continue here. Says, you're now the fisherman. You're the new fisherman. Surprised you found a new one so fast? Found a new fisherman. What happened to the other one? Again, there's a good little portion of content with this. And I suggest taking the time. I don't want to read everything and take you through. I want you to kind of get that immersion and that initial experience on your own. So I'll probably start skipping through some things. But basically, I'm going to have a conversation with him, learning a little bit more as time goes on about who is the fisherman for this little area prior. I can, over on the left, I can sell all fish for $154.89. Over here, I could tap and sell one at a time. I can pick them up. I can put things to storage. I can discard it, trash it, and then you can see if I want to sell just an individual one. In this case, I'm going to sell them all. So I'm going to go ahead and hit sell all. I got to hold it. And with that, you see up in the left, it says I sold. I got plus 131 because I got to pay off my boat. And so that's how that works. And of course, my gear is remaining in my cargo. What's all that's remaining in my cargo. I do have a storage. Every place you go, every main location has a storage, so you can visit your storage. And there we go. So the mayor's going to greet me and meet me out there, and he's basically going to kind of talk to me a little bit more about fishing, maybe trying to find some information on what's been going on. Hey, Walmero, thanks for joining the stream. Charizard, Peter says, Mr. Fishmonger looking like Misty for... Yeah, that's right. He's basically give me an item. This is a collect item, so you can see it's a research part. I'll pick it up, and I'll pick it up and place... I'll tap over here, and I'll place it in my my boat. Research parts are a in-game resource that you use to research different fishing equipment, maybe different things for your boat, and they're pretty hard to come by, and there are different ways to get those pieces. I don't want to give everything away. Again, I'm trying to just do this as a little bit of an introduction, and then tomorrow when I stream, I will get into more details. But basically, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go to my boat, And of course, when you see tap my boat, I got my locker in the left. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this up, and I'm going to hold this in my locker. Now, why would I want to use my locker? One, because there's a lot of space compared to my cargo. Two, if you damage your boat, you could, or something gets you in the middle of the night, you could lose some of the stuff in your cargo. So it's good that if you have something of value, go ahead and store it. Just don't keep carting it around with you. And of course, as you're catching a lot of fish, you're going to need as much space as possible. Meryl says, is this game some sort of trading game where you fish and sell? Well, there's no multiplayer to it. It's only a single-player game. It's very story-driven. But catching and selling fish is your primary means of income. You need, real money, quote-unquote real money. It uses this, it's in-game resources as money. And you use that to buy different items for your boat or for your gear to continue progressing the story and to continue progressing your ship and kind of just moving everything forward. So you're really not trading with people of sort, but it's just a fishing, Animal Crossing-esque encyclopedia to see what you've caught, what you haven't caught, or what you haven't found, and then following the storyline and ultimately trying to build your boat up to be big and strong, maybe have some cosmetics with it, and then to run all the quests that go along with it. Now, one thing I'll point out on my cargo, if you take a close look, now if you're on the vertical, it might be a little on the tiny side. But you'll see over here on the left side of the cargo, there's 4 hooks. That's where I have places of cargo. I can put a fish there, but I can also use those spots to build out more fishing gear. And you see 2 what looks like little propellers at the bottom. So I have 4 spots for propellers. Those are engine spots. 4 fishing spots on the left, and you can see 3. The fishing rod I had takes up 2, and I have 1 more there. And then at the very top, you see a little bit which looks like a light bulb. That's where I can install a light. So now I have all these different kind of pieces of equipment that I can work on to start building out my boat, to improve my ability to catch fish, and ultimately improve my survivability, especially when I'm fishing at night. When you fish at night, hold on. It can get dangerous, and you could be in trouble before you know it. All right, so let's go ahead. I've got here's this research part. It shows me that I have 1 in the left corner. Here's a rod. I can spend 1. Notice I need 2 that's underneath it. Here's called a hydraulic rod, and this one's called a flexible fishing pole. After you unlock one of those, you can see that you can follow the lines, and there's all these different equipment. I don't know the name of these yet because I haven't unlocked them. But you can see how many research part, the little cogs that are going to cost. And that's for rods. This is for engines. This is for the different pots. I haven't unlocked the ability to do pots or nets yet. But I will give one little hint here. When it comes to engines, after you basically research and are able to get the improved outboard engine, it's best to go for this engine here. Now, that particular engine is a single spot. So when my boat gets hit and my engine gets damaged, if it's a 2-spot engine, those 2 spots are basically worthless for me until I get my boat repaired. But if one engine takes 2 spots and the engine gets ruined, I'm not going anywhere. But if I have 2 engines, each 1 spot, still the same total volume, but if an engine gets broken, I still have another engine to proceed with. So the bigger the engine gets, the bigger liability or risk that you can take out all of it. Where if you have a bunch of smaller engines, and these engines up top are the kind of the go-to engine. So when you look at this and you go, well, which direction should I go first? You definitely want to take the top as your first route. When we look back at our cargo, I have one engine that's taken up 2 spots, and I have 2 more, so I could technically put 4 of those engines in there instead of having 2 2x1s. All right, so we've looked at that. Let's go ahead and finish this. It wants me to do a little research on something, so I am either going to research an engine or a rod. So the question comes up, which one should I do first? And you know, it's a good question. If you don't have the right fishing equipment, you're going to be limited on your income. But at the same time, if you're putt-putting around the ocean, everything's going to take a long, long time. Not to mention, the slower you get out there to a good fishing spot, the slower you get back. If you start going into those dusk hours and when it's dark, it even gets more dangerous. So the route I took, my personal preference, is I took the route of doing the engine first. Just because I wanted to be able to get in, get out, and not worry about having to deal with all the craziness that goes on at night. And I felt really empowered to move around and get to place. And then I kind of focused on the pulls. But, you know, you might talk to someone else, or you might find something else online that says go a different direction. But that was just my personal taste and my preference. And that's what I did my first time through. I actually did the pulls first, and then I realized it, and I didn't do any more pulls, and I just focused on my engine, and then I came back. So in this case, it wants me to do an upgrade. So I'm going to go ahead and spend my 1 point here. And research complete. Now, when you research it, it doesn't mean suddenly you got it. It means that in the shipwright shop, or there's a place where there's a vendor to buy boating supplies, it now becomes available to be purchased. You still have to earn it, but it's now available. And let me get caught up on chat a little bit. So I saw Peter mentioning something over in the vertical chat. Peter says, we call the dock the port of budget gaming city. Yep, that's right, Peter. You'll need a V12 naturally aspirated. Yeah. Well, wait till you see what those little one-space engines are. They'll put to shame the V12 pretty easily. The best engine and the best... okay, yeah, got more Pokemon. Nice. All right, let me jump back over to the stream. Now that I just wanted to get caught up on vertical chat. And Wamero says... Okay, that was the same question Wamero asked before. All right, so now that I've done that, here's the shipwright. You can see the kind of the blinking green there. Again, I'm going to save you some of the story for now, but it's definitely immerse yourself into the story. It's really good. But basically, this is this kind of introduction to the shipwright. I've got another pursuit added, and basically, she's going to explain that she can take care of my boat. And anything I need help with, she's there to make it happen. Now, if my boat is damaged, I ran into some rocks, I can do a repair. I can hit like repair all or repair a portion. And of course, here's what she's selling. So there is the 2 rods that she has right now, a simple skimmer and a weighted line. If I tap on the engines, you'll see kind of the new highlight. See the highlight kind of running through that engine on the far right of the 3. That's the one I just unlocked, so I could go and buy that. Now, I'm not going to buy that one. I'm going to save my money to buy those one-slot engines. So I'm going to try not to invest too much. Of course, I can sell things back, but she's going to take her cut again. So right now, I'm just going to kind of hold out for a little bit. So I'll putt-putt for a little bit, but I'm going to focus on getting the engine. Then, of course, if once I unlock nets, I can buy nets from her. And then she has lights here. And, you know, I can buy a cracked bulb, and you can see it has 500 lumens, a range 32 feet, or I could go with a cloudy lens, 750 lumens, and a range of 65 feet. And, of course, if I was to buy one of those, I put it in the light bulb slot. You can see it up at the top of my cargo there. All right. So let's. She is definitely Charizard. Yeah, she is definitely the shipwright. She knows her stuff. All right, so I'm gonna bail back out of here. I've again tonight I'm just looking to stream for an hour, so just to give a little bit of the basic introduction to the game, and then tomorrow I'll be driving story content and covering a lot more aspects of the game. But tonight I just want to kind of cover the basics. All right. So I see no more greens, and with that, it's 8:48 p.m. Now, a couple of things. So, how this game works is you kind of find out on your own, but let me go fish a little bit more at night here. So I'll go ahead and, oops, let me bail back out of here. I'll go ahead and hit right above my boat. You'll see three icons. You'll see a boat with an arrow. That's your basically disconnect and go ahead and head back out. You see the three Z's. That's where I can sleep. And then you see the cogs, which was the parts. And Peter says massive lumens will attract lots of fish, big ones too. Yeah, Peter, you're spot on, especially the big ones. That might not be so good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and undock for a moment. Again, I'm going to take and work my boat around a little bit. We'll watch this eye in the center. Let's see. Right now it's green. And now we're at 9:30. Again, I could fish. There are some fish that you can only catch. So you can see my panic level starting to go up. But there's only some fish you can catch at night. Like, okay, here at night, I'm going to be able to catch a squid-looking thing. So I'll go ahead and start fishing for squid. I'll place. Now, of course, the time is moving forward. So it's almost 11 p.m. Just going to catch some fish here. Keep an eye on my panic level. That's kind of, you know, what's my fear like, how calm I am. You know, am I feeling some type of psychotic behavior? You know, what's going on? All right, so I fished that out. And I'll go out a little bit further. Again, without no light. I have no light, so it's kind of dark to see. I definitely could use a light right now. So, and I do see something floating over there. Let's go pick that up. Oh, now did you see right out of nowhere that rock popped up? With no light, you have no sense of where things are at. And that just popped up literally out of nowhere. And if I was to hit it, I would have done damage. But now look at what's happening. It disappeared. It's kind of like fading in and out. So is that really a rock? Or is that my imagination? Hey, Blaze, thanks for connecting. Well, look at my eye. It's brown. It's almost red. The more you panic, the more you start thinking maybe you're seeing something. Maybe you think you're seeing a monster or something and it's not. Or maybe you see a rock and it's not. So in this case, that rock may not actually exist, but my panic level's getting up there. And so where'd that bottle go? Well, that's odd. I don't even see that bottle. There it is. Okay, let me see if I can work my way to that bottle. Again, I'm operating my boat really slow. Because who knows? Whoa, so right there something just popped up. Look, more stuff popping up. If I bump into any of those things, I could sink my ship. So there's a ton of rocks out here. Look at these rocks is everywhere. Now remember when we were out here a little bit earlier in the nearby area, there weren't this many rocks. So it's 2:30 in the morning. I've got a lot of panic going. I'm moving forward very slowly. I'm going to snag this. I'll read it later. And with that, I'm going to try to get back to my dock without sinking my boat. As soon as I get back, I'll check chat a little bit. Well, there's something there. Almost. Wow, I'm going really slow. Almost 4 in the morning. I'm going to be beat tired, that's for sure. I'm just trying to make my way there. There are rocks everywhere right now. Of course, that means I can't fish those. Everything's looking a little blurry. Look at how the graphics look blurry. Almost 5 in the morning. And I'm going to dock. All right, real quick, let me get caught up on chat. Let's see. Yep. Okay, yep. Blaze wanting to go fishing. And Charizard says, yeah, there's a lot of Magikarps. There's probably a lot of Gyarados floating around in here, Charizard. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and go to the trader. Oh, so check this out. This isn't even the same city. I didn't even recognize it. I got so goofed up in the middle of the fog. I'm actually at a different spot. This is not the same dock. It looks different. But what I think I'm going to do is I better just rest and then go back. I can tap on the boat. Here's the cabin. Again, I have another message. I can read that. Whoops. I can read the message. Details. Clues. Hence, it's important to tune into these. I'll skip them for now. And, of course, I caught that squid. It shows that you see the moon and the stars, so it has to be caught at the night cycle, not the day cycle. But right now, what I'm going to do is I got to get rid of that panic. If I don't get rid of that panic, I'm going to be in a world of hurt. So I'm going to sleep. Now, sleep, that only took me to... the new day starts at 6. I guess the life as a fisherman, you're up by 6. And if you didn't get enough sleep, then you still have a little bit of panic there. I'm going to go ahead and go back now. I'm going to undock. I remember all those rocks? Man, I was all kinds of rocks. A lot of them are missing now. I must have been imagining those. But here I am, just going to work my way back. Now, one thing when it comes to sleep, if you're going to try to avoid doing much work at night, you know, my typical routine was I was on the fish to about 10 a night or so. And then I would go to bed. Now, usually by 6 a.m., your fear, your panic, all kind of disappears. And even if it's still dark, those last couple hours before twilight, 5 to 6, aren't usually too bad. Even if you start building some panic, by the time 6 comes around, it's day, and you can kind of feel comfortable with things. So my suggestion is when you sleep, maybe you might go to bed at 10. Maybe you push it to 12 or 8, wherever you want to go. But get up at 4 o'clock. If you get up at 4 and start your day before the sunrise hits, you can get yourself out to the fishing grounds wherever you're fishing. And you don't really have to worry about too much panic, because even if you start building a little panic while you're out in the dark, it's going to get light really soon, and you'll shake it off. All right, so now I'm back to where I started. Let's go ahead and dock. And with that, I'm going to start with the fishmonger. I want to sell those squid I cut. He says, tell me about the order. His basically, he'll usually have like these different orders. They're like little mini quests or missions, and to fill a certain order. So again, I'm not going to try to take away the exposure for a new player. But basically, he's going to say, hey, if you can catch X, Y, and Z and bring it to me, I can make I got a big spender, and we can make some money on this together. So I'm going to go ahead and sell my fish. And with that, it said a pursuit was added. So if I go look at the pursuit board, he wants me to catch a flounder and an eel. And if I can do that, he's going to cash me out nicely for so that'll be something I'll kind of keep an eye on. And so with that, again, we'll look at the map. Yep, we got, Peter says Little Morrow. Yeah, I went from Greater Morrow to Little Morrow. All right, so let's go ahead and get some more fish in there. We'll do a few more things and get a little more exploration in. And we'll wrap up my introduction stream, and then tomorrow, probably late morning, we'll pick it back up again. And we'll get further into the game. So there's a little bit of shininess going on here. So let's go take a look. A floating buoy. And it just basically says, hey, it serves as a safe passage through hazards. And it says also a dim light provides a brief respite from the gloom of the night. So sometimes if you're having issues, hang out by one of those buoy lights and it could help you out. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go fishing here. Well, so my equipment doesn't allow me. So right now I'm fishing with a custom rod. Notice there's an install time. You can get your equipment installed during night, a couple hours for this one. It improves my fishing speed by 40%. But take a look, catches coastal. It's only going to let me catch in the coastal range. It looks like I'm kind of in a shallow range right here, so that's probably why that fishing rod's not going to work. Now, if I go over a little bit further, I get out into the deeper water. As long as I'm not out in the ocean, but more of a coast, I probably can start catching things. So that one was probably still kind of shallow as well. And again, my boat is moving really, really slow. You can zip around once you unlock things. So I don't have... Ooh. That looks like a shark almost kind of swimming around there. I definitely don't have equipment with my little fishing pole to catch a shark. Peter's asking, do we have underwater mines in here? Well, I don't know. There could be all kinds of things lurking in the water, that's for sure. You're gonna have to definitely be careful when out and about. All right, now I must be in what's considered coastal water. I'll go and fish. So I just hit the start, and again, this is just a little timing thing. Different types of fish have different sequences. I've already depleted the stock there. I only had one. It's 2:52 in the afternoon. I do need to keep track of my time. There's an island over there. There's the lighthouse. So I know just find the lighthouse and that will bring me home. But let's do a little more fishing. There's the other place I was just at. Let's zip around here a little bit. Although I'm not too zippy, I'm going to definitely want to try to start working towards... I got to get those pieces. And who knows, sometimes maybe I'll buy an engine just to get around a little bit faster. This is kind of painful. So, again, I don't have the right fishing equipment to fish there. I do have the right fishing equipment to fish here. So I'll go ahead and start fishing disturbed water. And sometimes when you're fishing in disturbed water, you can catch aberrations, which are kind of mutated fish. No more the stock. That one, I fished out that hole again already. All right, so it's already almost 6:45. Starting to get dark. So last night I didn't really go to bed. I only got a couple hours of sleep. And I almost sunk my ship if I would have bonked into something. So I think I'm going to give my... my character a little extra rest. So we'll go ahead and dock, and there's that red beam over there. I wonder what that's all about. That's something I'm gonna have to get brave and go explore at some point. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and dock up. Of course, I'll go sell my fish, sell all for 27. And again, I'm kind of skipping the story so that you all can get the immersive experience with the story. Let's see, the shipwright. I don't have anything to repair. It says repair all is 0, so I'm good there. And with that, this time I'm going to sleep. So I'm going to go to bed. It looks like around 8:41. I'm going to try to sleep to about 4 o'clock. And even though I'll have a little bit of panic with a little bit of early some night, the night won't last long enough to kind of get me freaked out. And then once daytime shows up, I'll be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get some rest. Now, down here in the bottom left, you see there's a tap for the mare. So I'll go ahead and check with the mare. And I have a little conversation with him, basically to pay off some more of my debt. I can ask about what's around me, what happened to the last fisherman. But I'll save all that story for you. I'll just go ahead and bail back out. And with that, I'm going to sleep. Now, I'm going to wake up. I see the time is clicking away. I'm going to strike right now. And, okay, I ended up waking up at 4:28. Any time in the morning after 4 is good. It looks like a hunched woman is going to come over and visit me. And looks like she came from the lighthouse. Of course, her name's Lighthouse Keeper. She's going to ask me some questions. Of course, perhaps how you answer the questions could dictate how the conversation goes. I'm going to continue through it, though, just to, again, save the story for you. The mayor's has a little icon blinking now. And he's asking me to head out towards a Little Morrow. And it looks like he wants me to do a delivery to the dock worker over there. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up and I'll place this item. It's 4:28, so it's nice and early. So I think I'll get rolling on that. I'll go ahead and take care of that. I probably could fish on the way. And of course, it said another pursuit, deliver package. So I got this delivery to do. And of course, I'm still going to be working for that flounder and eel to make a little extra cash. And with that, I'm going to undock and I'll get rolling. Of course, now you see an anchor up at the top where the time is. No eye at all, so I don't have any panic going on, so I'm doing good. And here comes the sunrise. And of course, my boat, after playing this and having all the engines maxed out, this is definitely a slow go, but this is how the game kind of plays at the beginning. Again, I'm going to check out these different little fishing holes along the way. I might as well fish while I can on the way to deliver this package. And then if I miss tapping in the right spot, you'll see it turn red. Okay, so let's place that one there. This is a medium stock, so I should be able to fish it hopefully 3 or 4 times. Let's rotate this and we'll Tetris that one in there. Now there's the yellow. That's something kind of rare. Oh, but it didn't stick around long enough, so I missed my opportunity to actually make that catch. It's a one-time thing. You either get it or you don't. Rotate to there. We'll put that one there. But yeah, when you see those yellows, you want to go after it. Just make sure there's nothing else interfering. And that may not make too much sense right now, but later when you're fishing different types of fish, you're going to have things moving around. And with that, you got to just make sure everything lines up properly. All right. Enjoying reading Peter's conversation. All right. With that, I'm done. Of course, now it's already 11 in the morning. Moving your boat, fishing, and a few other type of things progresses the day. All right, I'm probably in shallow water now. So with that, let's go ahead and hop over here. Little Morrow now. It's going to dock. I'm going to go ahead and finish this pursuit. There's the dock worker there. And you can see it says pursuit results, small package removed from inventory. This is a little conversation about what's going on now. Looks like I made a little money from it with that delivery. And he's talking about books. He looks like he gave me a book, so we'll go check that out. And he's probably giving me some information for something in the future, something I might have to do. Everyone you talk to, if you're just toggling through things, you might miss key information or clues or hints. All right, so I've got the little green marker on my boat. So let's go to cabin. Now, this is called the bookshelf. And, you know, you're out fishing, you're out on the sea for 14, 16 hours, waiting for the fish to pop in the net or however you're fishing. Bite, you know, nothing's biting. You can read books, and when you read books, you improve. This is your character. you improve your character skills and abilities, or basically their capacity to do things maybe faster, maybe they can barter better. So there's a bunch of different books. So in this case, I've got a book. It shows 0%, so I'm going to tap it to read. And it says I haven't read this yet. If I should be able to. Let's see. Go back out. It selected as the active book. I probably needed to tap on it first, but when I finish it, it will tell me exactly what it does for my character. I read. When you read, just like in real life, you learn, you grow, and that's what books do. So you'll collect books throughout your adventures in this game, and you want to make sure you're always reading something. Always go to your bookshelf and make sure you're reading something if there's something on the shelf that you haven't read yet. All right, so anyway, I'm in the process of reading a book now. And with that, I'm going to finish out this day, and then I think that will be a great spot to wrap it up for this little initial stream, because tomorrow I'll be back on, and we'll start grinding here a little bit. Now, here is some debris floating. I'm not able to do anything, but when there's debris down on the bottom of the water or up on top, you're going to have to dredge it, hence the name of the game, Dredge. So I'm going to have to figure out, how do I get equipment so that I can dredge? And when you start dredging, that's a key part of the game, because you can dredge crashed, sunken boats, all kinds of things to be found when you dredge. So that is one key aspect of the game that you want to be able to unlock sooner than later, is your ability to dredge. And again, here's some more floating debris. And I'm not able to do anything with it, and now you can see out here all these fishing holes. Now, as well, there's another, that island has some activity. Let me show you this spyglass. So you can move around, and when you find a good fishing hole, it'll tell you what's there. Cod. That's an oceanic. That looked like those shark things. There's the cod. More, and that's coastal. So you can use this device to figure out blue mackerel, so you can kind of look around. Maybe you're searching for a specific species, or maybe you're just looking for a fishing hole, abyssal. That's a whole different type of fishing area. You can use the spyglass to basically help you figure out where to go. Of course, you got the horn. I don't have my headphones on, but should be hearing a horn of some loudness. And who knows? That might come in handy sometime, especially at night, and maybe you're running into trouble. All right, so let's go ahead. There's the lighthouse. We're going to work our way back. And here's a little set of fishing hole here. Let's see if I can fish this one. Nope. So when you start running into a bunch of fishing spots you can't fish, that's a good indicator. You probably need to also consider the type of equipment you have. All right. So we'll fish here. I can see it's already starting to, the light's starting to disappear. But that one's depleted because I've fished it recently. There went the sun. We just got to see the sun going down. So let's go ahead and I'll dock. I'll go ahead and sell what I have. And we'll wrap it up for tonight, and I'll catch everyone back tomorrow. All right, so going to the fishmonger. Selling $75. Looks like I'm slowly paying off my boat, so that's good news. Now, on the cargo, you can see how fast my boat can go. 24 knots. How many lumens it has, and how what my fishing percentage is at. So I definitely need to work on this boat. I definitely want to get everything upgraded and going on it. So that will be tomorrow's part 2. We'll start working on the working on that. All right. Peter's got a lot of great conversation. I'm enjoying the conversation, Peter. Thank you so much, and thank you for hanging out. All right. Let me go ahead and wrap it up for the night. So that was just a good little initial exposure to Dredge. It just released about, I think I got the message around 8 p.m., so 2 hours ago. And it's a single player, kind of cozy, kind of survival, horror fishing game. If you're looking something you can pick up and put down, and you can leave it for a while and come back, and you want something to kind of immerse yourself, maybe you like to read books, and there's a great story in here to read as well. It's really well put together, it's well thought out, and it grew on me, and I really do enjoy this game. Again, maybe someday the developers will be able to build in a multiplayer facet to it. And I actually, from what I understand, at one point, for one version of the game, some smart person or people had built a mod where you actually could, if you're playing it on the PC, play multiplayer. But I think that's long since vanished and not happening. But anyway, it's a fun single-player game. Please give it a try if you're interested. I'll be providing some content on this every so often. And, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of break. Of course, my main focus is Pokemon TCG Pocket. Right now, I've got Godzilla X Kong, Titan Chasers. We'll have some fun playing Sonic Rumble when that comes out. Of course, we got Pokemon Unite as well. So a lot of varied content. What I'm suggesting for people who are subscribed to the channel, who have notifications on, it's a little difficult to keep those going. You don't know which content you're looking for. I suggest on my Discord server you set a notification on my live channel, and I'll show you exactly what's going on and everything. And that may be a little easier than having notifications running. But with that said, let's go ahead and wrap up. So I hope everyone has a good rest of your night, your morning, your afternoon, or evening, no matter where you are on the globe. And as always, in this case with Dredge, let's fish. I hope everyone has a great rest of the night. If you're catching this on the replay, I hope this was helpful for you. And look for more introductory videos covering the initial gameplay of Dredge. Thank you very much, and have a good rest of your night.